Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day. So I wanted to talk about tokenization. It's been discussed more frequently in the past 3 years. I mean, it's been in the conversation for the past 10 years, but it's becoming a little more popular the past 3 years. So there's a lot to understand. So I wanted to make a video kind of giving a simple explanation in case you've ever wondered, okay, what is this? How is this going to transform the world? That's what I wanted to discuss in this video. So going straight into the info, what is tokenization, right? So tokenization, imagine an asset. You could pick any asset. Let's say a house. Imagine you pick a house and you turn that into a digital version of itself, right? So you pick a house, turn that into a digital version of itself, and that is basically what tokenization is, right? Now that digital version is representing the asset. That's basically, in simple terms, that's what it is. And what are some examples of assets that could be transformed into a digital version of itself, right? Well, I could give you a couple here. And if you go to the XRP Ledger website, it gives you the same explanation. It says all assets, right? Not just a couple, but all assets other than XRP, because XRP is the native coin, right, for the XRP Ledger. All assets other than XRP can be represented in the XRP ledger as tokens. So here are some examples here. You got currencies. So think about stable coins. We know that Ripple just took out the RLUSD, which is backed by the US dollar. So if you have $1, then it's going to be linked to that RLUSD, right? That's how the stable coin works. Is 1-to-1. So you could pick any currency in the world. It could be USD, it could be the yen, it could be the euro, it could be the pesos. It doesn't matter, right? You could put that asset, right? If you have it physically, if you got the numbers, you could put that asset in and tokenize it. And in this case, that's what stable coin will be. What's another asset? Well, you got the commodities, right? So you got gold, silver, copper, iron, wheat. You got oil, rice. You could also tokenize that. You could have a digital version of rice. How would you calculate that? I don't know, but you could just have a digital version of it and tokenize it on the XRP ledger. Something else you guys might know about is the NFTs, right? Which is art. It's digital art. This has been very popular for the past, I would say, 7 years, maybe more. So you want to keep that in mind. You could also digitize art if you're an artist. Maybe you probably already tried doing this as well. Also, real estate. Houses. Houses are very important, and they're very liquid as well, right? So we're gonna go into what are the benefits of tokenizing, and houses are a big one. Stocks, ETFs, any type of asset, you could tokenize it. You could make it into a digital version of itself, and it's going to be able to be represented in the XRP ledger, right, as a token. So why tokenize? What's the benefit of doing all of this? Well, it has many benefits, and I'm gonna list only 3 of them in this occasion. Only 3 benefits. So the first one is fractional ownership, right? So what do I mean by fractional ownership? So I want you to think about Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, you don't need to have a whole Bitcoin, right? You don't need to buy one whole Bitcoin. You could actually buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. If all you have is, let's say, $10, you could buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. Maybe the fees are going to be super high, so it might not be worth it. But the whole point is that you don't need to spend, you know, $100,000 to buy a whole Bitcoin. You could just buy a fraction of it. So the same thing, if you have a house, let's say, you could tokenize it. You could make a digital version of it in the XRP ledger. And now somebody, you know, let's say in Japan, they could buy a fraction of your house, right, with that token. Maybe they say, okay, this house is in a location that I know in the next 3 years is going to be worth, you know, 20% more, 30% more, whatever. So you could, that person in Japan could invest in your house. They could just buy a fraction of it. And what all of this is doing is basically making it more liquid, right? In other words, is making it easier to trade. That's what liquidity means. A house is very illiquid at this moment, but if you have fractional ownership, it will make it more liquid. And this, of course, is for everything, right? Everything that I mentioned up here. Rice. How do you even invest in rice? Maybe you could buy a stock of a company that kind of distributes rice, but you know, if this is tokenized, which I believe it will be tokenized, all of this, you could buy a fraction of gold, a fraction of a copper, you know, oil, fraction of oil, you know, whatever your mind thinks that could be tokenized as an asset, is going to be tokenized, and then you could invest in it. Another benefit is reduce transactional costs, right? So again, I'm going to keep the same example of the house. A house has many people in between. You have the banks, you have your real estate agent, you have your lawyers, you have the seller's lawyer, or if you're the seller, you got the buyer's lawyer, and everybody wants a profit. So if you tokenize it, everything becomes simpler, and when everything is more simpler, it reduces the cost as well, right? So when you tokenize it, maybe doing this fractional ownership is going to be cheaper to do. Or if you just want to sell your whole house to somebody else, maybe you don't need to have all these people in between. Maybe one person is enough, and the cost is going to go down dramatically as well. So reduce transactional costs is another one that we want to keep in mind. Another benefit is global access, right? Remember I said somebody in Japan could invest in your neighborhood? Well, you know, that's only possible if, you know, you could tokenize your house. So you tokenize your house, anybody around the world that sees potential in your house, they could invest, you know, let's say $100, and maybe they say, okay, within 2 years I might get 20%, 30%, whatever. So now everybody around the world has global access to that asset that you have tokenized, right? So this is what tokenization is. It's very interesting. It's going to transform the financial world in a tremendous way. I don't think anybody really understands how big the transformation will be. But yeah, like, how do you even calculate that, right? If you end up tokenizing all of this, and there's still more. This is only some examples that I put here. Everybody's houses, you know, I think you could even tokenize maybe like a driver's license or something. I don't know. I think, you know, there's just so many things that could be tokenized. So this will create new investment products and opportunities. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, this is it for the video. I'm sorry if you heard crying baby in the back. We're trying to put him to sleep. But thank you so much for watching, and you know, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited to start seeing assets being tokenized in the XRP ledger? Because definitely this stablecoin that Ripple just took out, the RLUSD, is not going to be the only thing tokenized, right? They already have NFTs. They have an NFT marketplace in the XRP ledger. So yeah, it's just a matter of time before we start seeing more things getting tokenized in the XRP ledger. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. Stay safe.